Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So I'm starting a brand new color mixing series. I'm going to be focusing on a new color each video to show you how you can mix different shades using a limited palette. Only 8 colors. So if you're new to color mixing and you're on a budget, these videos will be perfect for you. Today we are starting off with the color purple, so let's jump right in. Okay, so to start, I'm going to go through my materials. For this challenge, I am going to be using my Etchr Lab Cold Press Sketchbook. I really love this paper, so that's what we're going to be using, and it's going to be helpful to have them all in one book. For my paint, I'm actually going to be using Winsor Newton Cotman paints, and they are student grade, but I wanted to make this as accessible and affordable, especially to beginners for this challenge. So I wanted to show you the benefits of using student grade paint. Now, like I said, we are doing a limited palette, so I'm only using these 8 colors. The colors I'm going to be using are Dioxazine Purple, Permanent Rose, Turquoise, Ultramarine, Hooker's Green Dark, Sap Green, Cadmium Yellow, and Cadmium Red Deep. That's it. That's what we're going to be using throughout the whole challenge, so it's a good 8 colors to start. I also have my Princeton snap brushes in a size 12 and a size 6, and water and paper towel, and we're ready to go. Okay, so we are using the color purple today. We're going to be focusing on mixing different kinds of purple, as well as using purple to be the base kind of color to create other colors. So we're going to be using it in mixing our greens and yellows, and then we're going to be making a little floral composition based on the color purple. So like I said, we have Dioxazine Purple. That's the only purple I have. And I think we should just jump right into it. So this is what a swatch of Dioxazine Purple looks like on its own. It's really nice and rich and dark. And I actually love this color for mixing. But what we're going to do is we're going to just start by slapping some Dioxazine Purple into different parts of this palette, so we can start creating new colors. Okay, so one of the other purples that I really enjoy making or using on its own is mauve. But instead of going out and buying mauve, we're gonna actually take some Permanent Rose and mix it with our Dioxazine Purple. And right there, it creates a new purple, and that's as close to mauve, I think, as you can get without actually buying the color. So let's swatch that one, okay? Really nice, warm purple. Now, the thing about this and mixing color is that I already made a new color, but with these 2 colors, you can make different hues of this color. By adding a bit more pink, you can make it a bit more pinky. By adding a bit more purple, you can make it a bit more purpley. So you can make almost like 5 different colors just using these 2. So we could add a bit more pink, like I said. And it's a little bit more on the pink, almost like a magenta, okay? Like that. And then once you have these colors, remember that you can make different values of these colors. So if you wanted to do more of a pastel-y kind of painting, all you have to do is take some of that pigment off your brush, and you have a light wash of it, and it's a really nice pastel color of it. So really, you can make tons and tons of different colors just by changing up the values and the hues and different levels of each color. Okay, so there's mixing it with Permanent Rose. Another really nice combination is when you start mixing it with blues. So let's take some turquoise here. Okay, and let's just add a bit more of each color. So you could do half and half blue, half purple. That's really nice. You could add more blue to it, so it's more of a bluey purple. I like that color. Or a bit more purpley to it. I think that's kind of similar to that. Like that. And like I said, changing up the values by creating a light wash of it. You could do a whole pastel color painting without, and this is all without adding white. A lot of people like to add white to make a color lighter and more pastel, but all you have to do is just create a lighter wash of it by taking your brush. So here I have a bunch of pigment on my brush, just dipping it in your water and running it against the side, takes off that pigment, and you have a lighter wash. Okay, so there's mixing it without that blue. Now we have 2 different blues, so we can start and see if we can make a different shade with ultramarine. It's similar, but it's not too similar. Turquoise has a bit more green to it, and ultramarine is a bit warmer, so it's more on the purple side. It is similar, but there is a slight difference. Okay, like that. And then another thing I like to do is add green to my purples. So mixing dioxazine purple and green, Hooker's Green Dark especially, is one of my favorite mixtures, because if you mix half and half, you can make a gray. If you have more purple, you can kind of mute the purple, the vibrance of the purples. So I'll show you. So here we have purple, take a bit of green, and it mutes that vibrancy. So it's kind of like a muted purple, like a dusty purple. Let's add a bit more color. Yeah. Makes it a bit more of, it's like a fall purple in my mind. Okay, and then like I said, adding half and half, you get this kind of grayish color. There's that dusty purple. Okay, a bit more green. It's really quite gray. And then more on the green side is one I like to use for a lot of my greenery. It creates this really beautiful dark green. Okay. And that's all by just using purple and green. You get all these different colors. Okay. Another mixture I really like with purple is red and purple. You get this beautiful kind of burgundy or maroony kind of color. So let's mix. Okay, so you can be more on the red side here, like that. Or you can be more on the purpley side, which is also beautiful. A little bit more red, like that. And I find those are really beautiful fall colors. Okay, so we have tons and tons already. Actually, one more. Let me mix it with yellow just to show you. So here's my handy dandy color wheel. I always suggest you make one just to have it on hand. I do have a tutorial on how to make it if you want to go and check that out in the link below. Purple and yellow are sitting exactly across from each other on the color wheel, which means that they are complementary or contrasting colors. And when you mix two contrasting colors, you get brown. So if you do half purple, half yellow, you can get a nice tone of brown. But if you mix a little bit of yellow with purple, you can mute that purple. So let's just try that. I'll show you what it looks like. So let's grab a little bit of yellow to start. And then grab some purple. And again, it kind of creates that dusty purple color. Like that, which is nice. And then I can also use purple to kind of create a rust tone to a yellow. So if we have more yellow, you can almost make like a yellow ochre color using purple, which is also a nice fall color. So these are tons of different colors that I use by just using these 8 and mixing with the base of purple. So purple is a pretty fantastic color. You don't need to buy multiple purples. I love dioxazine purple, so there you go. All right, and remember, you can lighten each one of these up to create another color. Just wash a little bit of the pigment off your brush and you have a lighter value of it, hence another color, and it's awesome. Okay, so now that we have all these mixes, I'm gonna use some of these colors and we're gonna create a little floral composition. It's late August and I'm kind of feeling this fallness in the air. Don't shoot me, those people that love summer. I love fall and I'm kind of getting that feeling. So I think I'm gonna go with some of these tones to create a floral purpley fall piece. So I'm gonna be using dioxazine purple and red. Actually, let's create 2 different ones. I'm going to put one here. And for one color, I'm going to use more red. So we'll make this one more on the red side. And yes, I dip my dirty paintbrush into the color again, but you can just wash your paintbrush off and then swish it around and you'll get that color right back. It's not a big deal. Okay, so this one's more on the red side and I'm just going to take that color and this one would be more on the purpley side. Okay. Like that. And then maybe we'll do a blue one too. So let's take some ultramarine here. A little bit more purple. And this one's a bit too vibrant for me, so I want to dull it down a little bit. I'm going to grab a little bit of green to dust it up a bit, like that. Okay, so let's try and create maybe like a little like anemone painting-ish thing. Okay, so I'm just going to take that color that I already have, and I'm going to create a petal like this. And this is kind of like a dusty purpley blue, which I love. And this is going to be kind of like a side view. So I'm doing the longer petals on this side, and I'm going to do a shorter petal over here. And I always like to go back in and add a bit more darkness here. Okay. Let's grab that like cranberry color and do another one over here. So I'm going to do a short petal here and then long petals on this side. And then also change up the values. I find it looks really nice when you change up the values. So I have a dark petal here. I'm going to wash some of that color off. A lighter petal here, and then have that deep dark color kind of seep into it. Like that. Like that. I'm just going to drag some little lines in there. Like that. That one's a little wonky, but that's okay. Take up some of that color there. Okay, and now let's grab this deep purple here. Maybe add a little bit more red. Like that, and we'll have another one kind of coming down here. So short petal on this side. Longer petal on this side. I'm going to wash some of that off, create a lighter value, have some of that one seep into there. Like that, really just kind of making it very loose, like so. Okay, there we go. Now let's add some greenery around it. So I'm going to take a little bit of that dioxazine purple, a little bit of Hooker's green dark to create this nice dark green. And then I'm just going to start pulling some leaves out like that. I'm going to wash some of that pigment off, have a lighter one. Like that. Maybe another little one over here. Okay, there you go. I feel like we could add a bit more darkness towards the center of some of these. A little bit more contrast with just taking up some of that color to make some petals lighter. A little bit more red in there. Like that. And we will create a center. Let's get some more greenery happening. So I'm going to take some sap green, actually, but this is one color we didn't mix. So I'm just going to add it to my green here. A little bit of dioxazine purple, and it kind of mutes that sap green. So sap green is a pretty vibrant green, and then adding purple will mute it to make it more of like an olivey green, which is nice too. And you can just do some other greenery coming out. This is a great design for cards, and it's fairly simple too. Add a bit more pigment maybe, close to the stem. Like that. Okay, and maybe we can even add a little bit of that rusty yellow, like little fillers. Just doing some dots. Just using the tip of your brush. And then I'll add some stems in a second. Let me just add a bit more greenery. Really using the shape of that brush to just get these leaves happening. Okay. I'm gonna grab some green. Just do some stems, connecting these little yellow filler bits. Like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna let that dry and then we'll do the center of the anemones. Okay, so now that it's dry, we're gonna create the center and I want it a nice dark purpley blue. So I'm just gonna add more dioxazine purple here and maybe then a bit of ultramarine. Then maybe actually a bit of hooker's green just to really darken it up. Just kind of adding all the dark colors together. And I'm gonna create a little center like this, and then little lines and little dots on the edge of those lines for the center, okay? Like that. And there you go. There's your really easy floral composition using the base color purple. And remember, these are only just a few ways you could use purple. There's all these other colors you can go up here, make them lighter, make them darker, and just have fun with it and play. So this is my biggest focus for this whole series, is just for you to play around, okay? I feel like some people feel like it's a daunting task to mix colors and create something beautiful, but really you just have to play around and familiarize yourself with color and color theory, and this is the way to do it, okay? There's no wrong way to do it, okay? There's tons of ways to do this and you can't really screw up. Just enjoy it and have fun. Okay, so I feel a little silly because the one thing I forgot to show you, and I'm filming this later than I filmed the first part of the video, is how to create a purple if you do not have a purple paint in your palette. I'm giving you a limited palette, but if you don't want to go out there and buy a purple, the best way to achieve mixing a purple is not what you think. It's not blue and red. You get kind of a wonky purple that way because if you don't have the right red, it can just look a little bit muddy. The best way to create a purple is pink and blue. So if you are using a limited palette, I always highly suggest getting a pink. So get the 3 primary colors, yellow, blue, and red. And for your red, I always suggest getting like a cooler red. So a cool red that is leaning less towards orange and more towards like a purpley color. So cadmium red deep is a good option. And I'll just show you quickly mixing red and blue and what that can look like, because it can be a little bit difficult to create a nice purple. So we have that. Let's use our ultramarine. And I do have a video on this as well, of why your colors may be muddy and the importance of knowing cool versus warm colors, okay? It makes a huge difference with color mixing because here I have 2 blues. One is cool, one is warm. What does that even mean? I will link it below in the video all about that. It will open your eyes to what all that means, but it makes a huge difference. There are also cool and warm reds. And to mix a purple, you want a cooler red. So this red is actually cooler than cadmium red, just cadmium red like on its own. It leans more towards an orangey side, and orange and blue mixed together is brown. So you're gonna get kind of a muddy purple. So you want a nice cool red. This is cool, but it's not ideal. So I'll just show you, stop talking. Okay, so here is a purple. Okay, it's actually not bad. Now, if you were to mix it with cadmium red is a very orangey red, it would look a bit more brown. So cadmium red deep is a really good option, but an even better option for mixing a purple is using a pink. And I'll show you what I mean, which actually we kind of did at the beginning anyway to get that mauve color, right? So there you go. It's just so much more vibrant than mixing with red. Okay, let's mix that pink with turquoise. So turquoise is a bit cooler, but it's also more vibrant. So that's another good option. Okay, so if you're buying an even smaller limited palette, I definitely suggest permanent rose, cadmium yellow, cadmium red deep, and ultramarine. Those are great 4 colors to start off with. I hope that helped a little bit more and you guys learned a lot from this video. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram and Facebook for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.